Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Grego, you ready? All right. Ready to my right. We'll call to the order the regular committee of the whole meeting. Can we please begin with roll call?
Councilmember Robinson.
Here.
Seeley.
Here.
Connell.
Here.
Shimmers.
Here.
Oberon.
Here.
Mussman.
Here.
All right, real quick, I'm going to go off script, and I'm just going to welcome back Mr. Dave Vickers. Appreciate you back with us. You look good.
We missed you.
It did catch him off guard. All right, we're gonna change the order up here because we've got a lot of folks here. So we're gonna go right to 2 Bravo in the potential deer management ordinance update. I think Mr. Josh Eggers is going to lead that discussion for us.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Mayor, Council, Josh Eggers, Parks and Recreation. A couple weeks back, we had received a couple phone calls about some concerns of a neighborhood just south of 2nd Avenue and South 14th Street, which is in the deer management program. The issue was there's some stray arrows, people tracking through that maybe weren't supposed to be there and actually walking through their yards. So we had a good discussion, and I'm glad that we did because it's really had us given us a chance to look at our deer management program closer to not only identify that we have a couple discrepancies in our rules, but also to look at how heavily populated of a residential area that this particular area is. When you look at the other deer management public areas, Eagle Point Park North by the Equestrian Center, there's no residential areas here. So after further review, we feel that this group really does have a pretty good concern and legitimate concern. I think we're going to hear from a couple of them today to express what those concerns are. And we basically wanted to bring it to the committee of the whole to decide if we feel that this particular 7.9 acre property should remain a part of the deer management program or be taken off. So we'll let you guys decide that, but I think we've got some things that we can help support maybe why that might be a good idea at this time. So I'll turn it over to Cliff Wilkerson, who's a neighbor in that area, I think, who got the petition started. You should have a copy of the petition. There was 39 of them signed, all within that residential area. So we'll let them go ahead and give their concerns, and then I'll follow up and see which direction we want to go from there. So I'll turn it over to Cliff.
We're gonna Hunter, while he makes his way up here, I'll just note that I'm the deer management rep, and I didn't get everybody's names, but there was Brian, Bob, Cliff, Julianne, I believe it was, Dale, Bruce, and then Dustin, Pat, Josh, myself.
You got to be at the mic, so the because the folks online have to be able to hear you.
All right. We're all present there, and we thought it was just going to be a few members, and a lot of them did show up. And,
Hey, sir, do you
and we're able
want
to
me to go to a map, though, and as you're talking, I can point out? Is that what you...
Oh, okay. Well, probably the same map that I had that I marked, but...
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because I don't think we have our projector.
I want to introduce Bruce Lutz, who's going to speak with me as well. He's the neighbor.
Okay.
He's on the petition. I'd like to start by passing out 2 maps. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
On the first one, just to get a reference, so this is the general bow hunting zone. You can see red and black.
Is that this map here? Is it? No.
If you look up at the, it's going to be pretty close.
It is that. And that little dark circle that I circled, that's the area we're talking about inside this map.
Yep.
You're right in there.
I'm going to do
Yeah.
this. Hold on, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go...
There we go. We'll do the old
And
Google.
the second map is going to be what represents that little circle on that map. And I've kind of put a little legend on there.
Just right by what.
So it's right between the red and blue lines.
Just east of.
We're gonna zoom in on the area here.
There you go.
We'll have it here.
Yeah, right there.
There you go.
In the
Yep.
red circle,
Yep.
Okay.
By Sunshine Quilting. Does that exist?
Yeah.
It's right when you're going down the hill.
Do you have to swear us in or anything?
So we own this land up here, and it
Do
is
you have to
banned
swear
up
us in
there.
or anything?
No, you're good. You're
No, you're good.
It's just-
Just, you already stated your names for the record, so we're
So I had
good.
a big, long story planned for this, but really what it boils down to is safety. We found 7 arrows in our yards in just 1 year. I mean, that's 7 potential targets that missed. Could have hit somebody else, could have hit a dog, could have hit anybody walking by there. Like Josh said, this is a heavily populated area. There are neighbors that circle that entire zone, and there are a lot of dog walkers that go through there and a lot of visitors to the Arboretum. And one of those arrows was found in the Arboretum. So if you look on that map, I drew, yep, and I made a circle of where all the arrows were found.
Yeah, I'm circling them right now. I'm trying to do the same things just so
Okay.
the folks at home and then the crowd can see where it was. There was 3 over here. There's 1 here. There was 1 right about here. There's 1 right here. right there. Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's our legend. Sorry. Yeah. But and a couple of them.
Yep. There was 2 on this side, 1 here, and then 3 over here for the total of 7. And just to reference everybody, I know you guys are trying, but this is 2nd Avenue South up here. Here's South 14th, Bickelhoff Arboretum, and then this is city-owned ground as we come down through this washout area here, or through the low ground.
About 7, little over 7 acres.
Yeah.
Matt, can you just go
Yep.
north on the
Mhm.
map? Just
Yep, by Whittier.
Okay, so right in there is where the ponding area is. Just so everybody can kind of
Yep.
figure
Mhm.
out where you're at. The ponding area that's right next to Whittier Elementary. And then that area that goes south, that's city-owned property there.
Right. Your microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, we're not debating that it's city-owned. Somebody referenced 7 acres, 8 acres, 9 acres. But if you look at the letter that you guys put out, what the rules are, you have to be 150 feet from a boundary, which is a neighbor's yard, a building, a road. Take that into consideration. I drew it on that map. The area you have to hunt is less than 2 acres. So is it worth it to hunt 2 acres in the city of Clinton just for a few deer? When you have the risk and the potential of hitting a homeowner, a child, they play in those woods, we have bonfires down by the edge of those woods, there's always somebody out in their yard. That's just a safety aspect. So the other thing is we've had a lot of interaction with hunters, and not positive. None of them are positive, they've all been negative. My first encounter was 5 years ago, that's what got me started. I was mowing my lawn, I stopped, I got off, and a gentleman yelled at me and said, "Hey, I'm hunting here." I said, "Well, I'm mowing here." I said, "I have a right to be here." He goes, I said, "Who gave you the permission to hunt?" "The city. I have a permit. I can hunt here anytime I want." Well, he was 5 feet from my yard. He was not 150. So I didn't know what time he had to be 150, so I let him go, didn't say a word. 2 years later, I find a deer down in my woods, got shot. I called the DNR. I talked to Lucas. He was busy. He told me to go ahead and harvest it myself. I didn't have a gun, don't have a license, don't want to do that. So he said, let nature take its course. So the coyotes found it, killed it. That was unsettling. All right, so the next interaction I have is I find an arrow in my backyard. And where it was laying, where it was facing, the only way it could have got there is it went across my back neighbor's patio and landed in my yard.
Yep.
So that was the straw that broke camel's back. That's when I started the petition, and that's what got us here.
Yeah, I've spoke to most of the neighbors. I live right there, and yeah, I think this is simple. It's actually banned on the northern part of the city-owned land already, and this is
Which would be
super easy
by
to do.
Whittier.
All we got to do
Correct.
is
Yeah.
all we have to do is exempt this parcel. We'll change out the signage. I think there's only one sign actually right along
There's
Second
only-
Avenue.
It's not, it's
You
barely,
can't
you can't even read it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things we did talk about, if we weren't able to get it done this fall, was new signage, and there's
Well, we
concerns
could
about
pull down
parking.
the bow hunting sign. It'll
Yeah.
take about 2 minutes. Do
So,
it on the way.
one of the things that Josh was able to do, since we met, was, there was a concern, there was like quite a few deer harvested out of there. That's not the case. I think there was only 2 deer harvested out of there from the last record.
out of 22.
Out of 22 that have throughout the whole city.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
with that meeting spurred a little bit more digging into where they're harvesting and calling the hunters that did harvest. And they actually said they didn't even harvest out of there were only 2. So I think it makes a lot more sense now that we know that it's not really affecting any of the program. I mean, 7.8 acres or whatever, and then if you say where it's legally allowed to hunt is less than 2
Right.
or under 3, we exempted out, I think you said you had 11 hunters that are in the program right now that you could
And I
contact.
wanted to clarify that as well. So we kind of went on a wild goose chase because it was reported that we had 16 deer taken out of 2nd Avenue South and Mill Creek, and we're thinking, well, how is this possible? Like, there's only the one city-owned property. Well, come to find out, we spoke with one of our more avid deer hunters. The 14 of the 16 were taken out of private property on 2nd Avenue South, the property probably just a mile west. So really only 2 deer were harvested out of this area. And this particular individual indicated that he didn't even know many people really hunted there. So we're not even sure if the people who are hunting there are even part of the city program. So at first I was agnostic on which direction to go, but the more I've looked into it, this actually makes a lot of sense to take this off. It's too populated of an area for it to stay compared to the other public hunting areas. And if you look just across to the north, like Greg said, that 2nd Avenue north is already taken off because it's too close to a school.
Right.
So you got just south of the Erickson Center Pond and then all the way down to the voided area. Again, no residences in that public area, so there's plenty of opportunities. I think we've calculated there's about 80 acres of city property you can hunt, so this 7.9 won't really affect much. And then the property to the west that was taking up all the 14 of the 16, there's 60 acres just in private property alone. So I think there's ample hunting opportunities, for my opinion, to recommend that this be taken off the deer management program.
Very well.
And one of the things, I guess, that if the council would approve it, is could we do this yet this fall, and then they could go ahead and communicate that to the existing qualified hunters.
Yeah,
This is off the limits.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start it right now. In fact, I'll make the motion to remove this parcel from the
Second.
deer management
Oh, and
area.
No, go ahead.
You're fine.
go ahead,
You're
go
fine.
ahead.
Come on up.
You gotta come into the mic.
I know where you're talking. Okay.
Just stay.
You know the base of the
Yep.
base of the hill on the south of O'Shea property.
Yep.
That's also
that longer strip.
that line, and that's not actually in where you're
Yeah, so
pointing
we
out in the map.
This one?
we can lump that in with
This
it.
one
That
here?
we own that too,
Yeah.
Matt.
Right.
Yes, and that actually has had.
It's a hill.
Yeah, it's at the base of a
It's two-
hill.
it's two
It's a
acres.
creek bed. It's a creek bed at the base of a hill, kind of midway between 2nd Avenue and 8th Avenue. And that actually has been an area where a lot of hunters have not, how am I going to say this nicely? They've not, it's on the unofficial that they've gotten deer there.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
to the point of leaving a carcass
Yep.
this year also, leaving a carcass
Yep.
this year also. So, and Bo's in an area where the lady has 2 children.
Yeah, that wasn't a good situation.
Just state your name on the mic for the record, just so we have it.
Nancy Burgess.
Thank you.
This area looks familiar to me. Didn't we have a discussion about this area?
Yeah, so we had a conversation because we've been communicating with the Bickelhoff Arboretum. So they do some.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to do some really
Okay.
cool upgrades, and so they're going to need some space to park some vehicles. And so we've been talking about this end when it slopes down to the bottom here, where they could actually have some of that ground to put their vehicles and stuff inside of storage, so that they're underneath. I don't want to give it away, but some of the plans. They
Just
could,
the plans that, that's why it looks
Where's
familiar.
Bickle Hobson?
right here,
Right there.
Oh,
okay.
all these wonderful trees.
And actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 parcels that we'll have to identify
So it's
that
this,
are all actually part of
this,
this. Yep.
this,
Oh, I see.
and,
Okay.
and that.
Now I'm
there.
I'm
So there's-
following you.
So those.
Yeah.
So all 4 of those parcels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll amend my motion to include
All 4.
all 4.
So can I interrupt for just a second?
Yeah.
So you're saying all the land, which was what we
South.
want, beside between South 14th, South 6th Street,
Yep.
16th,
South
2nd Avenue to 8th Avenue,
Yep.
and everything inside that circle? Okay.
5
I was just going
parcels.
to say, there was a.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
We'll get them
identify
all
them.
on there.
Yeah.
But it means that it's just a cow, we can get all of the.
Yep.
Parcel.
We'll bring
Yeah,
back,
we
we'll
can
bring
get
back a new map.
back for the to
Yep.
move it forward.
So then the city property that we're talking about here is all those parcels combined now. That's what we're talking about. Then everybody's shaking their head, right?
Correct.
Correct. Yep.
right?
All right. So I'll give anybody else a chance if they have anything
The
that they
masked
would
man
like
in
to
the
say.
back from DNR, would you like to say this?
Mr. Mayor and council members,
Yeah.
if, at the risk of saying too much, because it sounds like you're heading in a direction that I want you to go anyway, but I still need to point out a few things Cliff mentioned the danger of arrows and where they had to travel to get to where they were. It might be interesting for you to think about the concept that a broadhead is not just dangerous when it's flying through the air. It's dangerous until corrosion renders it no longer in existence. So that broadhead is dangerous, even lethal, just laying on the ground if a kid falls on it or what have you. That's one thing. Also, I learned tonight that there was the city on the north side of 2nd Avenue Road, the ponding area, was taken out because of its proximity to the school. Makes perfect sense. Except there's a lot of children that live in that same area that actually probably live closer to the hunting area than the land that was taken out of exemption.
And they're probably hunting when they're not in school, too, just.
Well, yeah, when the kids are home,
Yeah.
running around in their backyard.
Yep.
So, maybe that might be an area that could have been thought about years ago when they didn't take an exemption out of.
We'll just ask that once a year we have everybody go to the Bicklehoff Arboretum and we'll form a line and we'll push all the deer across 2nd Avenue South so they can keep going up to the
There's
north.
plenty of them back there.
Because that's where they're going to go, because I was talking to Josh today. Deer aren't as dumb as we think. They're all going to go there now because now they're safe, which is okay.
Well, that would work real well with turkeys because they'd stay out of the area. Deer will come right back
Yep.
in.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Just a final note too, is from a recommendation from the council, what would you like me to do with this? Bring it to the next city council as a consent agenda item? Is there anything in particular legal-wise to take this off?
The deer management is an ordinance, correct? So it'll have to come back, it'll have to come back as an ordinance
I don't
amendment.
see why it can't be done in one evening with 3 readings.
Yeah.
I would say yes, unless there's opposition that we have
I
to
would
listen
say
to or
yes.
something like that, but.
And you can oppose it that night if necessary. Right?
Yep. So.
The one thing I would suggest is maybe making a contact early with all the hunters that we already have on the list and just saying, hey, this is going to be on the next council meeting, just give you a heads up for this year, because we want to get it done for this season, right?
Right.
Correct.
Correct. I mean, it's already underway, but we're basically saying it's going to be effective.
It's going to be effective immediately, right?
And we only have.
Signage will go up saying it's not a hunting area. 'Cause right now there's-
And we only have 11 signed up this year compared to last year. There was 26. So the 11 that we do have, we can easily get a hold of, and then the other 15, if they're already, have to come do a proficiency test anyway. So
Right,
Dustin,
so they'll know.
Grounds Turf Tech can get with those people right off the bat. So the majority of the hunters aren't even signed up for the hunt yet this year. So that would be a good time to catch them.
All right.
I think the biggest thing is we need to make sure that we have proper signage there if council so chooses to pass this. And then there needs to be some enforcement on that side as well. If there are
Right.
folks that are in there that are still hunting.
Yep,
So
good point.
Yeah,
I think
and the citizens know this, but if you do see folks in there, don't approach them, just call us, okay? I know that seems simple, but please do that. Yes, ma'am.
Who is us?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Call
I think-
Matt.
Well, I'll come.
you can call Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I'd say it needs to get reported in, and I
You
think
can,
a good
you can
start.
call me. I
Yeah.
can handle it from there.
Yeah. It'd just be like, hey, date and time, this is about when I saw, this is, he was 6'3", 270 with a beard, wearing a
Wearing camo,
vest.
probably?
Yeah. He was low crawling across the area, thinking he was back in the army. Yeah.
The porch that the arrows go over is mine.
Where do you think they're coming from?
So that odd little shape.
Okay.
The really weird red shape.
Oh, right here?
It's like the oh yeah.
This
That
one?
No, the next one up.
Right here.
There you go. Because my house is the one that's shaped like a T.
This way.
We'll come down?
Down.
See,
Down, Matt.
Oh, right here. I
Right
got you,
there.
right here.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, so they're going over your porch, landing over
One
here.
over my back.
I got you. So they're shooting. Gotcha.
We're new. My husband and I moved here a little over a year ago.
That's our official welcome to Clinton.
Brian Kelly is my husband.
Oh, yes. Well, of course.
You might know him.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, we children.
That's why I saw you raise your eyebrows when we were talking about Bicklehoff Arboretum. Yeah, you're tracking. Okay.
So, I like my dog. I like my kids.
Yep.
We like
Gotcha.
to be safe.
Okay.
That's another call item.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear. I like Brian on the list.
It comes up for
And one thing, though, that when we brought up the topic of letting these people know and proper signage is critical because, quite frankly, what we've seen for the numbers of deer or things, it's not the responsible hunters causing this problem. It's the poachers.
Mm-hmm.
And they do exist. I agree. And they feed in the pool for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think at that point too, we just eliminated that because now if you see anybody hunting in that region, you know that they're not supposed to be there. So it'll be much easier to enforce.
We all know what Cody lives, so we'll just.
Yep.
And you can always call. You can always call the non-emergency number too.
Yeah, the police
at the police
department's gonna know what's
If
going
an officer's in the area, they can swing.
They can
through.
swing over.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. So we have a motion and a second to move this forward to the next business meeting. Is there any other discussion from council on this?
I'd just like to say thank you to the folks that did come forward. Bill had mentioned earlier, we passed an ordinance really trying to revamp some crimes in certain areas, and that really started from the citizens asking for change.
Right.
So that's good to see, and it's not just things that get brought up by city administration or staff. It's it starts with you guys, so I appreciate that.
Yep. This is the good stuff.
Citizens do make a difference.
They do.
All right.
We should have made it a potluck, though. It would have been better with deer meat.
Is there any other discussion from council? All right. Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Robinson.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Connell.
Yes.
Shemmers.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Sussman.
All right. Motion passes. Thank you all for being patient.
You guys are
Coming in.
good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So we're going to go to 2 Alpha. Matt, are you going to lead that for us?
Thank you, Luke. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Say hi to Brian.
Is that a cross country meet?
Yeah, from Friday.
Yeah.
That's where he's from. Oh, wow. See, that makes a difference. See, they want to make a difference. Come forward.
All right. Go ahead.
This won't be exciting as arrows and deer, but this is a very important part. Tim is with us, but I'm gonna run with it. So see how far I can get. If I need to call a friend, I'm gonna call you, sir. Good. We have Andrew. Awesome. Hey, Andrew, can you hear
Roger.
us? And Roger.
Yep.
Hey, Andrew, I'm gonna give this a shot, but I'm gonna be ready for you if I need to call a friend. Okay.
I'm online.
All right. Because Andrew and Tim and crew and Roger, they trained me up on this. So the background is we're here today to look at codes sections 159.046 and 159.049. And so what we're going to talk about is a building over at Nestle Purina. Our current code says for 100 foot is the maximum height. And so we had a meeting with Nestle Purina and went over. I kind of want to slide down real quick, see if you guys can see these down here. So first off, we had thought that the location was going to be down on the southern boundary, which was closer to the landing. It's not. It's actually going to be up about center mass of where Nestle Purina is located. Right there will be the building. And what kind of building we're talking about is kind of a unique building, and I kind of put it in the terms of like I think I stole this from you guys, but like a big vending machine, because it's automated. It can take the produce where it needs to go, or the end product. It's all categorized. They know where it is. They can go get that when they need to pull it out, and it's unmanned. Okay. Was it vertical warehouse? Yeah, vertical warehousing. You betcha. And of course, our fire marshal kind of said, kind of a rector set, kind of neat how it all comes together, right? And so this is actually an example of one down in Hartwell, Georgia. Just another picture there in Batavia, Ohio. And then end state, this is what it looks like. A pretty much a nice, condensed, nice looking rectangle building for that. And so what we looked at was through the zoning board of adjustment. So basically it's a quasi judicial branch, and if they end up saying no for whatever reason, it has to go to district court, and we didn't want to go through that. So we sat down with the team from Nestle, and what we came up with is basically putting forward to you guys to use this ASRS to go up to 135 feet, albeit this one will be 126 feet, 9.5 inches, but we want that a little extra. They need that little extra room just in case the roof pitch will go a little higher for that. And also, we discussed putting in there, remember, just for the unmanned buildings, is basically to increase the width 20 feet for each foot of height that the building exceeds, moving away from the edge of the property. Because the initial thought, when we talked about this, we were right on the edge of the property. There was houses right next to it. It kind of blocks out the sun. But this one now, they're moving back into the center mass of their overall property, way away from the property line. And so that also justifies that for any future ones that would come our way.
20 foot for every 1 foot?
Right.
Yeah.
Above, is that above what?
Wait, no, the setback has, so if you go 10 foot, you'd have to be,
So every 20 feet you go, you get 1 foot of extra.
no, okay, so
Yeah.
20 foot
So it'd
up,
be
1
10.
more foot
Yes,
from the
yeah,
property
sorry, yeah.
line.
So
I'm thinking
not the
out
other
backwards,
way.
so
Nope.
like, that doesn't
Yeah.
even sound obtainable.
It would be a
Okay.
negative building.
Yeah.
Yep. So basically, when we looked at that, we put that all together, and what our recommendation is going to be through legal is that we update both these sections of the code, of those two, for these unmanned buildings, unpersonnel buildings, that would be built in M2 and M3, and then back to the setback piece to make sure it's sufficient for residential and commercial districts, and basically allowing this access to be above the 100 feet marker. We also had Fire Chief Atkinson with Fire Marshal Chapman. We went over all the fire pieces across that. This is a wet piped at all times active sprinkler system. They have the ability to be on site to put that out, and if there's an issue with the fire from a roof apparatus, we're still kind of discussing that, working through that, but we don't really have an appetite to put our guys and gals up there. So we think that the way that the system is going to be constructed, that would actually put the fire out itself. Heaven forbid, lightning and other things. And it also is segregated from other areas of Nestle Purina, so heaven forbid, once again, if it did start on fire, it would not be able to spread to other locations as well. So we really spent a lot of time on that public safety part. I think Chief is feeling okay with it. He's never, okay is good, he's never comfortable, because you can never be comfortable as a fire chief. So we would like to bring, for any questions you might have, we have Andrew, who's a resident expert down, I think he's in St. Louis, and we have Tim, who's from here locally. So if you guys, I just want to open up if you guys have any questions.
Councilman Robin, go ahead.
Just one quickie, airport-wise, we're far enough away from the airport, we don't have to worry about that.
Yep. Plenty of distance. Actually, just a little subset of that. You could be at the airport and you could take it up that height as long as you're not in the path of the X.
Okay.
So where the rail park sits, it actually sits in between the X where the flight path is.
Yep.
Okay.
Someone else had a question over here. Right?
No, I think this is great. It does read that for every foot higher you go, you have to be 20 foot more from the property line.
We'll adjust that.
Okay.
We'll make sure we get that right.
And then, no, this is good. And I also want to make another note that the zoning board followed their normal protocol. They didn't do anything out of the ordinary. It was just, they are bound to certain things as well. So, this is easy peasy stuff. So, I think.
This doesn't have to go back to the zoning board after.
No,
this
you
change.
can't.
Okay.
You can't. Yeah.
This will allow them to do what they do, and it's going to be part of our zoning code now for future projects like it.
Yeah, because this will work just for buildings that are similar in nature to this one. Not
For
like
auto-
if you were going to build a building that was going to have people in it and all that kind of stuff, you'd have to follow our current codes. Yes.
And I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim and Andrew, but I don't think there is one of these in Iowa yet. I couldn't find it. So I was looking, and I know our fire marshal and our fire chief were looking too.
Of theirs or of
No,
the
anybody.
company?
Just
We
anybody.
like to be the first in the state.
Is there?
I thought there's another, not,
We were trying to locate, because,
has another vertical store.
yeah, because we wanted to be able to find out how they kind of approached and everything, but we couldn't find it, so. Andrew, I think you were going to say something, good sir?
Yeah, we're not aware of another one in Iowa at this time.
Okay.
Gotcha. No, and I'd just like to thank you, Andrew and Roger and Tim, for taking the time. I think it was a very beneficial go through of all the ins and outs and how these are put together, how they're basically have the sprinkler system set up and all that good stuff, and we really appreciate it, and we really think this is a great project. I was actually on a sidebar earlier today with CRDC and with Nestle, talking about some pieces and parts through IEDA and whatnot for some incentives. So we're really anxious to see this moving forward, and we're going to keep using this as the second project to reinforce why the RAISE grant should be approved for manufacturing. Because this doubles the amount of investment that Nestle's making at that end, and we really need to get those bridges up and get the road fixed. So,
Yeah, Andrew, thank you for your Nestle's investments in our community. We're happy to have you here and want to continue working forward. And with that said, I want to move this forward.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second
That was a good segue, wasn't it?
to move this forward. That's a good job.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Robinson.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Connell.
Yes.
Shemmers.
Yes.
Obrin.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
All right, Andrew and Roger, thank you for being online. We really appreciate it. And Tim, thanks for being here in person. I know it's been a rousing meeting.
Yep, and just for in corporate purposes, this will be on October 12th, and the intent is to bring it for all three readings, and then that would be finalized. So that'd be October 12th. You're happy to join in online if you want. It'll be pretty anticlimactic, but that'll be the date and time for getting.
Explain the zoning board.
Yeah, we've been.
Well,
I think they should.
they should know.
Well, we didn't overrule them.
Just to talk about, the information that we had wasn't necessarily correct at the zoning board, so they did the right thing.
The location was wrong for
They
starters.
still would have had to disapprove it because the zoning
Yeah.
board can't make a change to 100 feet to go to 135. That's all.
I get that.
Yep. So we're not actually
It was just a
overruling it.
miscommunication. That's all it was. It wasn't, it between the documents.
We have a lot of citizens that put in a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I think they should be commended for following the rule of the law.
Oh,
That's why we have it.
Heck yeah, that's why I started
hate
with
not
that.
going back to them and explaining to them why we do what we do,
Yep.
not taking into consideration what they
Yep.
said. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yep,
And,
please,
and
the
to,
minutes
like,
were
to be
reflected.
fair, it is two separate conversations because they were different pieces that this is different than what they looked at, so. But yeah, but I
they
agree.
did
I agree with
That
you.
brings up another question.
I agree with you.
Correct. I think I know where you're getting with that.
They
It's
did
just-
everything right, yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to have that issue
Well,
from the get-go is what you're asking or saying.
yeah. I mean,
They couldn't, there's no other action they
They
could
had
have
to say no.
taken. Yeah.
yeah. So,
So.
but
it's all-
we're on the right path now, I believe. So I think we're good. So, any other discussion on that before we move on? No. All right, Matt to Charlie.
This will be probably, I don't know, probably an hour and a half. So the purpose, no, is, this is city-owned property 109 25th Avenue North. So this basically, we got this on a tax cert, meaning that after 2 cycles of not having them pay their taxes, then we put into the county to receive this property. Basically, it's been demoed, it's bare ground.
Who demoed it?
We did, not buildable. The adjacent owner, so you might remember this is on the Permo pavers.
Oh, I remember this house,
Its
yeah.
sister building fell over
We
a couple
tore
years
this
back.
down a long time ago.
The fall of 19.
Yeah.
But this gentleman, John, he lives actually right next to it, and he wants to buy it for $500 and then, make it part of his property and have some extra parking there along 25th Avenue North. And so we just would return it to tax rolls, reduce the maintenance costs, and we'd like to have the council forward this to the next council to set a public hearing for it.
Is that all that's on here?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, that's it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
I wonder what Matt did all week. We have other properties.
All right.
They were all on there.
Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Robinson.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Connell.
Yes.
Shemmers.
Yes.
Obrin.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
All right. Starting over here, Councilmember Robinson, any updates?
No updates.
Councilmember Seeley.
I do not have anything. No.
Councilmember Connell.
I think there's 2 new folks in the audience that are going to be appointed to their council seats come November 3rd, maybe.
Second.
Second. Well, it's going to be that. It won't be that. It won't be on the second.
Well,
it'll be the following.
that's
so,
the election day.
Yeah.
November 2nd.
So welcome and thank you for taking
Good to
the
see you
time.
guys here too.
So, and then there's a couple that are going to be here with no opposition. So congratulations on your win. Unless Superman beats you out on a write-in candidate or whatever.
Councilmember Schemmer, or do you have anything else?
Nope,
sorry.
I'm good, thank you.
Councilmember Schemmers?
Just one quick, I was going to give you guys a long story, especially since we have so much time left. But I'd like to thank my two companions to my left we were at that conference, what, a week ago?
Yeah.
They gave me a squeeze ball stress thing, and they called it Mr. Pollinator. So, thank you guys. It's coming very handy.
Is it plugged into a Lion Power?
I don't have the name showing that way, so I'm not going to give away that hint. But I'm glad they were thinking of me.
That was a good one.
Councilmember Oberon?
Two things. One is that there's something real special happening in the fire department on Saturday. The smokehouse from the Kiwanis Club.
Yep, Kiwanis.
And then also, I attended the Walk of Fame dinner last Saturday, as part of that whole
You
thing.
worked the dinner.
And I'm telling you, that was one of the neatest things when, everybody got up there to talk, but when you get a 96-year-old up there and talking about his part of the world and his part of being part of Clinton, Iowa, it pretty much blew me away, from just that. And everybody that had anything to do with that Hometown Pride, Walk of Fame dinner, and especially, point out, shout out to, Sarah Lynn and Francis Bogus. I mean, they went above and beyond for a first-time thing to be pulled off that well. I was real happy to be part of it.
Did Henry say 82nd Airborne Hua?
No.
Yeah,
That's probably more modern.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
All right. First thing I want to mention is we still have the broadband study for Clinton County open until Thursday, right? So make sure you pop online, do that at your business, do it at your house. I finally got my home done this morning, remembered. So,
Mr. Mayor?
Yep. Make sure you get
My wife brought this to my attention from the meeting you were at earlier. Let's not call it broadband, because some people don't know that is actually Wi-Fi and internet, so it needs to be all-inclusive.
Oh, all right. All inclusive.
So
everything.
I pass that along on behalf of my wife. Am I correct on that, Tom?
There's a great mayor spotlight out there with Tom Detterman, so make sure you go
I
look at
did
that
watch
too
that,
on the
by the
city's
way.
YouTube channel. Saturday from 4 to 7 is the Bacon and Brew Festival. Is that the right time, Josh? 4 to 7? Okay. Make sure you're going to that.
Band shell.
Band shell. Tickets available online.
Can you pay at the door?
Of course. We're not going to tell anybody they can't come, right?
For you, double.
25th, back to its normal parade route. The Halloween parade will be the 25th of October. Trick or treat is October 30th from 6 to 8. Look out for those days. And I don't think we have anything else. Is that all the events that are coming up? Anybody think of anything else?
All
right.
Mayor, did we mention an award that we got at the League of Cities?
Oh,
Have we mentioned that?
Yeah, that's how we're going to finish.
Hey, and we're going to finish with the People's All-Star Community Award. So thank you to all the citizens that got online and voted for the Jurgensen Soccer Complex. Big victors at the Iowa League of Cities thing. So that was pretty cool to get recognized.
This is where we
that night.
officially turn it over to Josh Eggers. If he'd come forward, sir.
Speech.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the mayor should give this to you.
Yes.
So that he can put it
Get out
there.
I thought we did a video with this the other day.
Yeah, but we got to get another picture with the flag behind it.
Yes.
There you go.
It's official.
I thought it was official at the pond.
I feel like a police officer now. I'm getting sworn in.
This means this means no retirement now.
Okay, can you put it to where it's like your shirt's behind it, like this?
So you can half read it?
Like over this way towards you, because you can't read. No, you
Fireworks behind it?
We did.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice.
Find a good home for it.
And for the record too, these are never this short, so when you come on board, they'll be like 3 hours long.
Okay.
Yeah, tonight's a record.
Does anybody have any other items? Oh, the last one. If you saw it in the newspaper, our city clerk received an outstanding technology award for all her work on iCompass, which is where you see these council reports and all the stuff she's typing into over there. So, congratulations.
Well deserved.
The city would not run without Lisa, and that's a fact. So it's a well-deserved award. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
And apparently Alliant.
All right. Anything else? We are adjourned.
Gotta have power to run the computers.
I think we can do the meeting without power.
No, we could run a generator. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we have an automatic standby, right? Yeah.